Welcome to This Open House, where we talk about all things real estate related, with your hosts David and Rebecca Guthrie of the Hacienda Group at Long Realty Company.
Welcome yet again another episode of This Open House Show, and I am your host David Guthrie with the Hacienda Group at Long Realty Company with my beautiful, amazing, brilliant wife, Rebecca.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how you guys doing today? We hope you are doing awesome because we are doing great. And we've got a show that I think we're going to have to share with a lot of our past clients and current clients for those who missed the live broadcast.
So when we send out our real estate reviews, we send this checklist that I've created out to them.
Yeah, I mean this, and well, in addition, they can hear your beautiful voice as we send the podcast over. So
that's true.
This is going to be things to check yearly.
Yep.
And some of these things aren't difficult to do. We're going to be able to get through. But first, let's talk statistics.
As we always do.
Polling stats as of August 10th, 2021 in the city of Tucson. We currently have 923 active listings. That's up slightly from 896. But down in July 31st, actually, we had 941. So, you know, we're kind of sitting
around 900.
Yeah, slight fluctuation in the low 900s, and certainly it's a heck of a lot better than back in May we had 586 active listings, May of 21. Yeah, prior 7 to 12 months, your median sales price was 231. 4 to 6 months, we're looking at 266, and in the last 3 months in the city of Tucson, you can expect to spend about $290,500
on your median home.
On your home, yeah, median sales price. Take it all kinds of properties, every size, shape, area, condo, townhome, single family.
Full 9 yards.
It doesn't make a difference. All of that data gets lumped in there. Days on market. Here's an interesting statistic. 5 days. It's up from 4. We have not seen 5 days on market since the third week of May in 2021. So we're starting to see that slowdown. And I think we're also starting to see that in construction and some other areas. We were at a granite shop today, and we're talking about fabrication times and lead times. There's still some difficulty getting some supply in.
Right.
A lot of cabinet people, you know, they're 2 to 3 months out on their supply. But as far as the fabrication goes, they're able to crank some of these things out pretty quickly. Reading between the lines, we're seeing, again, not a huge slowdown or anything, but just a pulling back on the gas pedal from some of these things. So when you take that, you take the time of year that we're in, this might be a good time to get some of those house projects done, or some of the checklist items that we're going to talk about here. But jumping over to rents, we have your median 3-bedroom rent sitting at $1,550 per month. Rents have just shot up. In Arizona, they've shot up 18% over the last year. In some areas, we were talking to one of our property managers earlier today. In some areas, they were seeing like a 30% growth in rents. Huge, absolutely huge. The majority of landlords, even though they could get a lot more for their rental today because of how much it's increased in the last 12 months, they're increasing those rents by about $100. So tenants out there, just expect you're probably going to get a rental increase. And you know what?
Frequently, that rental increase, that $100 may seem like a lot, but they're being told if we kicked your tenants out and put somebody new in, we could increase it to $300-$400. So,
and you may not even have a vacancy because of when all these notices and things happen. So consult with your property manager about that, or you can feel free to give us a call or a text, 520-462-2611, info@thisopenhouseshow.com. And we're happy to talk about that topic or any others with you. In fact, if you have show ideas.
We love show ideas.
We love them. Go ahead and shoot those in. Or if you'd like us to cover maybe a slightly different statistic from a different angle, would love to discuss that with you as well.
Occasionally we do the whole state because we do also have Phoenix MLS access, which basically covers most of the state.
Yes. And so Lots and lots and lots of things to cover today. But first, I want to talk about maintenance, just kind of a general sense.
Yes.
I wouldn't call myself a car guy, but I've definitely done my share of maintenance. I've rebuilt some engines, a few transmissions. I pulled them out, put them back in. Don't do that anymore. Unfortunately, just don't have the time nor the car lift. And as I age, just crawling around under cars is a pain. But I know a decent amount about cars, and it was pretty funny to me because there was this video on about this cabin air filter, and Rebecca looks over at me. And this cabin air filter on, we're on vacation, we're in a hotel.
We're sitting in a hotel.
The kids are
room.
asleep, and this commercial comes on and it shows this woman, and she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know there was a cabin air filter.
I had no idea that there was a cabin air filter. And this thing on the commercial was gross. And I look at David and I'm like, do we have a cabin air filter? Or is this like...
Start laughing.
And David David definitely starts laughing
and
at me.
I said it's right next to the blinker fluid.
Which I actually knew was a joke. But I only knew it was a joke because of an ex-boyfriend. So.
I have a flux capacitor to beat that guy up, by the way. I will go back in time and punch him. Anyway, what this commercial showed, and then it was really great because
it was like an infomercial.
It shows the woman.
Right.
The woman on the commercial that they hired is like, and here's how I found it. Super simple. Open the glove box, pop out the clips, and Rebecca's like, oh, I can do this. Are you taking care of this cabin air filter?
Because the thing was gross.
And they wanted you to buy this cabin air filter that was like $40, which is ridiculously expensive. I mean, if you're having a dealership do it, fine. Maybe you're going to spend about that much, but it's like a $10, $15 thing at AutoZone or something, or O'Reilly, wherever you get your stuff.
Okay,
but
so you have to remember that there's a reason that David does the car stuff, because I kid you not, I am one of those women, I was a girl at the time, but I am one of those females who literally stood in an AutoZone parking lot and cried trying to figure out how to put on my windshield wipers.
They're happy to install windshield
older gentleman
wipers.
Walked out. He was very sweet. He's like, do you need help? And he showed me how to do it. But I couldn't figure it out. So, like this cabin air filter thing, I was like, this is a thing? I don't want to be breathing that air. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful I have David.
Mold, leaves, all that stuff.
Terrible.
And so, the point that I'm making is these are some pretty simple things. And if you understand... No, I mean, the commercial made it simple and reminded me I hadn't replaced ours in like 2 years. So I'm... Just
and
kidding.
Here he's saying he's taking care of it.
Just kidding. But you know what? That happens. Life
Life
happens.
gets in the way. Yeah, absolutely.
Kids happen. Next thing you know, what is it? Oh, it's raining outside and I need windshield wipers. Or worse, it's raining outside and it's raining inside. That's no fun.
That is definitely worse.
It's definitely worse. So, we've got some areas we want to talk about. Why don't we start jumping in no particular order on some things people should be doing yearly, definitely, but maybe we'll insert a couple of monthly things.
So there's going to be some monthly things. So this is a checklist that I made for that I give to clients. So if you are interested in getting a copy of this, just email us at info@thisopenhouseshow.com. Again, that's info@thisopenhouseshow.com, and I will be happy to send this over to you so that you can have it, because it's a PDF that you can print. So on a monthly basis, you want to be making sure that you are cleaning or replacing your HVAC filters. Yeah. Just like you want to do the filters in your car, which I now know exist. I knew the ones in the house exist because I replaced them.
To put you on a spot with our listeners, why is it important? Why change your air filter in your air conditioner?
So the reason that you want to change it is because the filter is what makes it so that the air that's coming through is actually clean. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, somebody explained it to me once like this. If you have a straw and your filter is fairly clean, you're replacing it, it's like drinking like water or soda out of a straw. It's pretty easy. Yeah. If you go a couple of months and you don't clean the straw out, it's like trying to drink like a smoothie out of a straw. So it gets harder for the air flow to happen.
It's hard to breathe.
Right. It's hard to breathe.
It's like giving the
unit
asthma. If you let it
go like 6 months or a year, it's like trying to suck like a Wendy's Frosty out, which is practically impossible until that thing melts. You can't do it.
You can't do it.
So you want to change the air filter on a monthly basis so that it's easy for the air to go.
Right. That's absolutely correct. I couldn't have explained it better myself. The importance of this, and there's different types of filters. Some people get filters with these kind of loose fibrous materials. I'm not a big fan of that. That's really not going to protect your HVAC system. And some of these things I'm going to say might be controversial within the HVAC community. I don't really care. But I don't like those filters. I prefer the pleated ones. And if you want to go, if you've got some allergies, you really want to get down to the micron level and, really filter out your household, getting a good HEPA filter, especially if your cartridge in your HVAC can support it. Some of these filters are pretty big because you just have more media for it to go through. But one of the biggest complaints that HVAC techs get, especially in the rental market, are the person says, well, my air conditioner is not blowing cold. It's not working. It keeps shutting off. Well, when you have a filter that's clogged, it will literally ice up your system. The air conditioning won't work. So tenants, this is your responsibility too. You got to clean your filters out because, all of the stuff that you're bringing into the house, from dust, dead skin cells, pet dander, everything else, that's clogging up that filter and it's going to make it not work. And if you haven't looked at it in 6 months to a year, you might be surprised at how nasty that is.
So that's the first thing, is change your air filters. So we are going to head into a quick break. But on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about more things that you need to do for your home maintenance checklist. So don't go away. We'll catch you on the other side.
Are you interested in the real estate market? What does low inventory actually mean? Funny, real-life real estate stories and things you should never do if you're looking to buy or sell a home. Join me, David Guthrie, and my wife, Rebecca Guthrie. We are full-time real estate agents with the Hacienda Group at Long Realty Company for This Open House on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on 1030 The Voice, where we will discuss all this and more. That's This Open House on Saturdays at 11 on 1030 The Voice. Welcome back to This Open House Show. David Guthrie with my gorgeous co-host, Rebecca Guthrie, who happens to be my wife. 520-462-2611, info@thisopenhouseshow.com. Jumping right back into yearly maintenance items. We did touch on a monthly maintenance item. Let's talk about a yearly one. And finishing up on the HVAC, it is great to have licensed tech come out yearly, clean up the system, especially with some of these outdoor condenser coils and different things. If you could imagine putting a blanket on yourself and running in 110 degrees, that's what it's like when you have an air conditioner system that's full of dirt and debris and it's trying to do what it should do. So, clean it out if you don't know how to do it yourself. It's really not that hard, but you need to do this yearly. Next thing is termite inspection, yearly termite inspections.
In Tucson or in southern Arizona, if you haven't had termites, you will have termites.
It's just a fact.
It's just a fact.
And usually I see these chemicals last about every 5 years or so, but even if you just had it treated last year, we've seen, especially in periods of heavy rains like this, it just makes the termites go crazy. And you see these, underground swarms almost. Bees and birds you can see in the air, but termites, all of a sudden, they pop up. So this time of year especially, that's a really big deal. Yeah. And most companies are going to give you, a free inspection. We've had Rego Pest on. If you want to check out our past episode on termites, a lot of info there. Let's talk drainage.
Yes.
All right. So a lot of the times you're going to buy a house or move into a house and all of a sudden monsoon's going to come. Yep. And next thing you know, you've got water coming into your house. Why is that? Because your dirt's not graded well. Because you have, your gutters pouring water out in weird areas, and it's fine most of the time. But when you have a monsoon that's a little bit abnormal, or you just happen to have the Eeyore cloud over your house that day, you might end up with some excessive rains. So this is really important to be able to, I think, look at regularly, because not only do things change with dirt. Wind and rain can move things around, but gutters can fail.
Yep.
They can get full of leaves. Things can happen where all of a sudden you get this huge load of water and it goes where you don't want it to go.
If you've got kids like we do, we've been telling them they have to stop rearranging the rocks. They want to use them as all kinds of imaginary toys, and they're literally moving the landscape rock that keeps the drainage going the way that it's supposed to go. And we're like, you have to stop.
Not happening.
So, if
drainage is critical.
Yes, it's really important. You don't want water in your house that is not contained.
Yeah. I had an engineer who build bridges and roads and stuff. He says there's 3 rules with engineering: control water, control water, control water, and that's super important. So look at the drainage that you have, not only on your roof but around your grounds. Could be a neighbor's yard, could be from a street.
Yep.
This is important stuff to check out. Jumping over to your roof.
You don't want it to rain inside.
You don't want it to rain inside. Most roofers are going to be able to come out yearly and happy to check your roof for free. And this is where I've said many times on this show, an ounce of prevention is definitely worth a pound of cure.
Yep.
And it doesn't.
And the other thing is, there's no roof that's maintenance free. There's no roof that you out there that you can just put it on and never think about it again.
Maybe a metal roof. They say metal roofs are pretty bulletproof, but I think you still need to check them out.
I would still check them out because people do stupid things.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not installed properly. I mean,
you never know.
It's worth checking.
It's worth checking. But the majority of roofs that we see out here in Tucson have built up reflect systems, the shingles, the tile roof systems. Those all require maintenance. Tiles slip, mortar caps start cracking. You have a lot of these issues.
There's a lot of heat that's put on there's a lot of weather that's put on your roof.
Absolutely.
Especially in Tucson, where we're having the fluctuations of the temperatures so much. I mean, 2 days ago it was 110 and today I was driving around and it's 80 degrees.
So, February, March, April in Tucson, probably a good time. Really kind of get that roof ready for the monsoon season. And if you just do this yearly, you should be good, unless, a baseball cracks some of your tiles or you have some other strange thing that occurs. So check those things out. And then also, even probably more than yearly, maybe every 6 months, if you have trees around your home, and you know that because all you have to do is look up. You have trees around your home, leaves are going to fall on your roof.
Yes.
Now, I've had roofers tell me and Rebecca that, leaves sitting on a roof creates a number of different issues. And to cut to the chase, you're reducing the life of your roof. These are on more built-up reflects, typically. You're reducing the life of your roof by about 5 years if you just let crap accumulate on the roof. But worst case scenario is if you have a built-up reflect with a parapet wall going around and you have scuppers coming out to drain water as it comes through. If those get blocked up with leaves and other tree debris, it likely is going to find somewhere else to go, and it very likely that water could end up inside of your house. And so cleaning those things out regularly.
Yep.
And again, if you can't do it yourself, a roofer, get them out, once a year.
And if you need
least.
Recommendations, let us know. That's what we're here for.
Right. Let's talk about water heaters. This is something that I think people really overlook a lot. Water heaters. There are a couple of different types of water heaters out there. You have the tank kind that heats up water and just keeps it 24/7 hot for you to use when you're ready. And then there is on-demand water heating, tankless water heaters. They're really big in Europe. I love them. We have them on our house. But there's some extra things that go into getting a tankless water heater installed. But a lot of people don't know that, look, one, if you want to have a tankless water heater, especially out here in Arizona where the water is so hard, you have to have a water softener on there. Otherwise, that tankless is not going to last. And most manufacturer warranties that I've read through and seen will not honor a warranty if you don't have a water softener on the house. So that's the first thing. First thing, you need to have soft water. But even with soft water, every 6 months or so, you need to be back flushing with a vinegar solution throughout that water heater to really flush everything out to keep it moving well and operating correctly. plumbers do this all the time. It's really easy if you have the right fittings and you have a little pump that can circulate things. Super simple to do if you know how to do it, but if not, this is a plumber that needs to come over.
Yep.
Jumping and continuing on with plumbing, one of the things that I think people forget, especially if you have kids, and I don't know what it is with kids and toilets.
I don't know.
Kids and toilets are just...
They're so rough on them.
They're rough on them.
They're just so rough.
Like they're jumping on them, or
I don't know.
Like just the way that they're jumping around, moving on them all the time. That's a lot of pressure. And especially if maybe you're a bigger person, if you're a larger person, they make toilets designed to handle all different kinds of people, thankfully. But the weight that occurs, especially on a second story, is a lot. And as that toilet moves under normal use, you're going to have a rocking motion. And over time, that's going to create a loosening.
Yep.
As it loosens, you're going to have an opening in your wax ring, which as you're flushing, you may only have a drop or two of water each flush. That accumulates
pretty quickly.
That accumulation can create not only mold, but all kinds of other nasty stuff. You may not want that in your walls and in your area. So
just a thought.
A really great thing to do is, for real, clean your toilet, okay?
Which you should be doing on more than an annual basis. That should
What
be
do you mean? I thought that was a once-a-year thing.
No, you should be cleaning your toilet more than
You
annual.
sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
You should see my dorm room when I was younger.
I
Okay.
saw it, and it's amazing.
So,
I still married you.
I grab the toilet. You can grab the toilet on either side and pull on it, shake it, give it a good, movement. If you feel movement or a rocking, you need to tighten those bolts, but you need to be careful because you can't over tighten them. Seriously, guys, while you're having your water heater over, even on a non-tankless, you want to drain those things out and flush them out.
Yep.
Tighten your toilet. Maybe put a wax ring on there.
Yep.
Here's another one. Dryer vents.
Well, let's go back while we're still on toilets and plumbing. You also want to do, if you're on septic, you need to make sure that you're having that inspected yearly because you don't want to have issues with your septic tank. I promise.
Yeah, and most people don't do this, guys. They get them inspected once whenever they sell.
Right.
Which maybe would be a good show to do all on septic.
Yeah, but you should, if you have septic, that thing should be checked once a year because it's, again, an ounce of prevention. Really,
exactly.
An ounce of prevention.
And for you snowbirds out there who have septics back here, you may want to figure out some kind of system in order to keep all of that good microbial from dying out there, because that's also important in there. So there's some things that you can do if you're going to be gone long term on that. Lint in your dryer vents, okay? So most people have lint traps and they clean them out regularly, but guess what? A lot of the times those dryer vents still get clogged up. We're talking fire risk.
Yep.
We're talking your clothes aren't going to dry as well, higher utility bills, everything
all
else.
kinds of things.
But seriously, if the fire risk isn't enough to make you want to make sure your vents are cleared out, I don't really know what is and probably can't help you.
Because it can catch on fire.
Yeah.
My brother is a firefighter, and he has been to fires where they didn't clean out the lint from the vents, and it catches on fire. So, truly, it's a real thing.
There are lots and lots and lots of companies that are doing this.
Yeah.
And
so another thing to do that is not a home maintenance thing, but it's just a good idea is review your insurance. Especially if you have a mortgage, most of the time it's just put on your mortgage and you'll get that renewal notice and you just ignore it because the mortgage is paying for it and gets tacked on. But you actually do want to look at it. We've talked about it a lot with how fast property values have increased. But it's a thing to add to your maintenance list of make sure that, one, you're getting a good deal on your homeowner's insurance, that it's covering the things that you want. Talk to your insurance agent, but make sure that you're going to be able to cover the loss of your house and the stuff that's in it if something happens to your house, which we hope doesn't, but that's why we have insurance.
That's why we have insurance, unless we want to self-insure. And for you renters out there, with inflation, the way it's going and all these things, you need renter insurance.
Yep.
It's super critical to have, but keep in mind, the renter's insurance that you had 2 or 3 years ago, if you've been in your place that long, might not really replace your stuff anymore.
Right.
So you may want to check this out.
Right.
But
so that is a list of things that you need. Some of the things. Like I said, we have a PDF file that we'd be happy to send you if you are interested and would like to see the whole list that we have, because we obviously couldn't cover everything. You can get that at info at thisopenhouseshow.com. Again, that's info at thisopenhouseshow.com, or you can call us at
520-462-2611. And we would love to earn your business. If you need to buy or sell a home in Tucson, Arizona, or the surrounding area, we would love to be a stress-free and a safe source of information for you. So feel free, call us anytime, 520-462-2611. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend and a good rest of your week.